All right, guys, welcome. My name is Julius. We have Riad with us today. Today is going to be our first ever agent spotlight. We're going to do a new clip, guys, where we're going to take a few minutes, interview you, ask you a little bit about what's been going on, where you come from, what's been happening here at FFL, and then share some tips and stuff with the folks and what they can learn and help pour into to the new people. Sound good?
Perfect.
Awesome, man. So I don't want to take your thunder, Riad. Obviously, you've come on here not too long ago. Tell everybody a little bit about what you did before, what you've been doing, kind of how things have been going here at FFL, how long you've been here, and then we'll kind of get into some questions.
Perfect. So I have a background in sales for the last 6 years, but I'll just go into a little bit before that because it is relevant. I played poker for a living for 10 years. The US government shut that down, so I kind of had to move into a different direction. Then I moved into sales, phone sales. I've been doing for the last 6.5 years. So the phones are no stranger to me. So that's kind of helped me excel in this. So far, I just finished my first month with FFL. And honestly, I can understand why people are hesitant with it because it almost seems too good to be true. Even now, putting up the numbers that I have in such a short time, I can't even believe it. I can't believe the opportunity, to be honest.
Awesome, man. So what was your last job? What's this job that you've been working right before Family First Life?
So before Family First Life, I was in travel sales for 6.5 years. It was all on the phone.
Okay.
It was basically 9-10% plus commission.
Okay.
So I'd be selling memberships anywhere from 3,000 all the way up to 10,000,
Okay.
and I get a small percentage of that.
So what percentage? So you work for a company, W-2 employee, right? What percentage of commission would you get off a $3,000 to $10,000 sale?
I'd get 9%.
9%. So what's the math on that?
So I'd basically earn about, depending on what I sell, anywhere from $300 to $600
Gotcha.
just for one sale that took me an hour to an hour and a half to actually close.
Obviously, you probably got a salary or some sort of hourly, right?
Very small. Yep.
Got it. All right. So you got some sales experience. That's great. Come in here. What attracted you to FFL? And from what I understand, I mean, you had a pretty good career at that job. You were making pretty good money. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
What were you making about a year?
I made 150 last year.
Okay. So you made 150, nothing to sneeze at. That's good income, right? So what caught your attention? What caught your eye here at Family First, where you're like, you know what? I really need to give this a good look because, hey, even though I'm making this money, I know I could maybe do more or do something else. So what caught your attention about FFL?
Absolutely. It's the growth. I can already see it just from what people have done and the videos and all that content that you guys put out. A year or two from now, I'll be able to excel much further than I have at the job that I've been at for the last 6.5 years. And I can see that through the numbers that you guys are putting out there.
Now, are you talking financially?
Financially and as a person, to be honest.
Okay.
So far in the last month, I've gotten out of my comfort zone entirely. And it's proven in the results. I mean, and it's only going to get better as time goes on.
Okay. So you and I were talking, obviously you just put in your 2 weeks. You said, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's a wrap. I'm done with the rat race. What was like that defining moment where you're like, you know what? I got it good over here. I'm comfortable. I'm making good money, but I know I can do more. I know I deserve more. I know I can do better. What helped you make that decision to say, you know what, I'm going all in on myself?
I mean, it's exactly that. What you said, it was comfort. I was too comfortable at my job. So I was slacking. I wasn't putting in as much. It just became second nature. I've actually saw FFL 2 years ago, and that's the worst part about FFL, I think, is that it looks too good to be true on paper.
Yeah.
Once you actually start doing it, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, that really was it. I was too comfortable. I wasn't growing. I was stagnant, and I just knew getting out of my comfort zone and moving on to this, I would be able to grow more as a person.
Got it. So you've been with us in the field selling for how long now?
For 1 month exactly.
So 1 month. Okay. So let's do like a compare contrast, right? Because some people seeing this, they think just like you, just like me. When I saw FFL, I was like, this looks too good to be true. Like it just doesn't. What's the catch, right? Like what's the catch, right?
Exactly.
So let's break it down for people. So when they're seeing this, they know what you went through and what you're actually experiencing. So at your job, you're making 150 grand last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did that average in terms of income per month? Approximately.
It was anywhere from 10 to 15 grand per month.
10 to 15 grand. And you were there for 6 years. I'm assuming you didn't start with 150 grand a year. Took you a little bit of time to get there. Absolutely. Now, your first month at FFL, first 30 days in the field, how much deposited hit your account?
So it's a little over 18.5. As I was telling you earlier, there were some issues with the carrier I had. It should be another $6,000, so it should be over 24.
Okay. So even without that other income that's going to happen, we're talking 18 grand actually hit your account right now. About how much did you spend in leads?
About $6,000.
So 6 grand. So you net about 12. Okay. And then at your job, you were doing about 12 to 15, but it took you 6 years to get there. So in your first full month, now were you full-time or were you part-time?
So I started doing FFL part-time. So I did it for 2 weeks. I wasn't able to put in the time that I wanted to, so I knew it wasn't going to work.
Okay.
I never take PTO at my other job. So I literally said, I'm going to put in 2 weeks of PTO.
Okay.
If I make more in 1 month or more in the 2 weeks than I did at a month at my job, I will leave my job.
So what did you make that time period?
And I did that and I made over 10.
So you made 10 in that 2 week period?
Just in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. So that was the test for you.
That was it. Yep.
So that was that moment where you said, all right, I made 10K in 2 weeks. That's more than I make in a month. Let's go.
And just being uncomfortable and having the doubt, of course, I was like, okay, let me make sure this is real. I had enough PTO to put in another week, did it, and did really well that week. So
awesome.
Literally a no-brainer.
Okay. Okay. So the proof was in the pudding. Like you had to prove it to yourself, right? Absolutely. So what did it look like before you did that? And maybe share with them, like, while you were working, what your hours were, and then how you found time to fit FFL in. Cause I think a lot of people struggle with that. I don't know if you had that scenario, but like when someone comes in, they're like, I think I can do this, right? And I'm going to start part-time and I'm going to see what I do. And then I'm going to go full-time, right? What did that look like for you? And were you all in from day one? Like, what did that, I don't know. Right. So I just share with me, share with them. But, because I think there is a difference in how people start and what that turns into. So I'm just kind of curious what that looks like for you.
Absolutely. So when I tried it part-time for the first 2 weeks, it was really, where can I put in the dials? So I would get off my job at 4:30. I'd dial until like 7, 8, 9, depending on, how long I needed to fill the slots. And then I would try and run after work. So from 5 p.m. on. Really where I was able to make it work is the weekends. So most people, they don't work the weekends. So as long as you can schedule your dials or your appointments on the weekends, you can go and run them.
Got it. Okay.
It just wasn't enough for me personally, because I know I could put more into it and have a better result.
Okay. Did you ever get a sense where you're like, man, I'm missing out. I could be earning more, helping more people at FFL than I'm doing at my job?
Not even a question, especially helping people. Once you get out and you really do see how badly some of these people need it, and you go through like what kind of shape they're in, health-wise, they really need this. And it's a much more fulfilling, I don't want to call it a sale, but it's much more fulfilling than what I was doing. It's really what I was looking for.
So it is fulfilling in terms of the service you provide.
It's after the month, it's not even about the money now. It's how many people can I help?
See, that's so cool, man, because I can't tell you how long it takes sometimes people to realize that. And the moment someone actually goes from, I need to make this sale, to how many families and people can I touch and help, the entire business changes, because now it's not about you. It's not about your dollar. It's not about your business. It's about serving the others. Right. And then when we serve people, we get rewarded, very lucratively. So
it really is like that, because there's points in the day where I don't even look at the time. I'm not like, when am I going to get off work? I'm like, I have another 3 people to go and help. Let's see what I can do.
Does it feel like work to you, honestly?
Not at all. I actually want to do more of it.
Isn't that cool?
It really is.
That's pretty cool. You're driving around.
Totally different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. You're driving around, you're helping people, you get to meet some people and just have natural, easy, free-flowing conversations. And it really doesn't feel like work a lot of times. So cool. All right. So we talked about that. What do you think's been like crucial to your success the first 30 days? Like, would you say you did something from a leads perspective, from a dialing perspective, from an in-home? Like, what do you think the main, maybe 2 or 3 things that have helped you come out the gate pretty quick to go out there and help families?
So you guys literally lay out a map for us. It's very simple. You buy leads, you dial them, set appointments, and you go out and run. It's that simple. If you do that, you're willing to work, you'll be successful. I'm 30 days in. I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but I think might have been Grady that said it. Most of the time, you're just order taking. These people want it. They request.
So what does that mean, right? So for the people that are watching that don't know, what does order taking look like, right? So, you said they requested it.
Mhm.
Okay. Now you go in the house. Are they kicking you out the door?
Not at all.
Are they welcoming
They're
you?
inviting with,
Come on in,
come
right?
on in, yeah.
Okay. So they requested it. They're setting an appointment. They're saying, hey, come on in.
Mhm.
And then what's that conversation like in the home? Is it difficult? Does it feel like you're fighting them, or do you feel like you're actually on their side? What's that
It
like?
might be a little uncomfortable at first because you're talking about real stuff that
Mhm.
matters. But no, it honestly hasn't been uncomfortable just because you know they need it. You know they need the help, and they respect your honesty when you are being honest with them about, what they need.
Now, do you think that uncomfort that you talked about is less about the client and more about you as a person trying to deliver the information that maybe you're not used to?
Probably. Absolutely.
Because I think that's what it is. Like when I talk to new agents, or even myself, when I was in the home, some of the things I was saying seemed uncomfortable to me, but was very natural in the conversation. Because what are we talking about?
Mhm.
We're talking about death. No one likes to talk about it. It's one of those, almost cliche topics, right? Like who wants to talk? But in our line of business, hey, if this happens, what does it look like for your family? So
Absolutely.
it's critical to deliver that very clear and direct. And all right, so let's talk a little bit about what did you do? So tell everybody kind of what you just recently did, the news you shared with me, and kind of what that's going to look like for you the rest of 2021.
Yeah, I put in my 2 weeks, or call it a 2 weeks. I sat with my sales manager, my supervisor, and I said, "Hey, you guys have been good to me. Company's been good to me. I want to leave on good terms." And they said, "Okay, work out the rest of the month." It was only 3 days, so yesterday was my last day at my job of 6.5 years. It's very uncomfortable, but also I already know it works.
Mhm.
It's gonna work as long as I'm willing to work. It's that simple.
Good job, bro. Proud of you. Proud of you. It takes some guts. It takes some grit. It takes some huevos. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I've ever been this uncomfortable, but it's literally the more uncomfortable you get, the
Yeah.
better the result.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if we've ever shared this, but that was kind of my world, right? I came from corporate America, making about 150 a year, working from home, super comfortable, just like you were. For me, it was a little different story. I didn't quit. I actually got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of forced into this industry, and things happen for a reason, man. So
Sometimes that's what it takes, and
Mhm.
that was the hardest part, is forcing myself to make the move. So,
yeah. Well, good job, man. Proud of you.
Thank you.
I think you're going to do big things here. I mean, obviously 18 grand your first month, you can't get any worse.
No,
I mean, right? Like we get better, right? It's not like,
I don't even know what I'm doing.
yeah, exactly.
So
Like
I can't imagine when I'm college, like how it's gonna be.
you're like, hey, I made 18 grand and I had no clue what I was doing. Now
Literally.
imagine what it would look like if you knew what
That's
you were
what
doing.
I'm saying, and yeah,
I think you could actually hit Hall of Fame this year, to be honest with
I'm
you.
gonna
If you
try.
really want to push for it,
Absolutely the plan.
you could get out there and do it. So let's give the folks a little something from a leads perspective.
Mhm.
How many leads were you buying a week?
Honestly, I'm not even thinking about the money. I just want a certain amount of leads.
But
I'm spending anywhere from 1,500 to $2,000 a week.
50, but you said $6 grand this month.
Mhm.
Well, and
That's
because
not,
of the-
because of the time. I
because of
actually
the time.
just bought 3 days ago another $1,500 worth of leads.
So you spent 6 grand and you were kind of part-time-ish, a little full-time, a week or two. Approximately how many leads was that getting you per week?
Probably around 60 to 100.
60 to 100. Okay. So 2 things I want to point out here. Number 1, you live where? Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Okay. So you live in Phoenix with a bunch of other top producers. One of the things that we hear all the time is, oh, Phoenix is so saturated. There's no leads. The dude just comes in 30 days in.
Yeah.
There was no leads, clearly, right? And so somehow with no leads, and he still spends 5 or 6 grand and finds leads, makes 18 grand. The difference is winners find a way to win and everyone else makes an excuse, right? So I'm proud of you for not allowing other people's opinions to interfere in your business, because the reality is it's what you make of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a lot of top producers in Phoenix because you guys choose to be top producers, right? Leads are available everywhere. So there's no scarcity of leads, clearly. He's been able to do that. But, and then from an appointment standpoint, how many appointments were you setting per week? And let's talk about the full-time weeks, the 2 full-time weeks you ran. How many appointments did you have per week?
So my goal, because I knew I needed to really hustle to get out of my job. So my goal was 40 a week, 10
Okay.
appointments.
And how many did you
run
actually
days.
set?
I probably set 8 per run day. So
Oh, okay.
about 32.
8 per run.
Right.
Oh, per run day.
So
yeah.
4 days. Yeah.
Okay. So 32 appointments.
Yes.
Okay. And then in that 2-week time period, you did how much?
Probably like 15 or
15
something
grand.
like that.
So obviously it works.
Yes.
Right? Obviously it works. So guys, the proof is in the pudding. You heard it here first from Riad. All you got to do is buy leads, book a ton of appointments like he did, run the numbers, put the numbers in your favor. And clients, they want to see us. They're waiting for our help. So don't overthink this, guys. If he can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. We're not that special. All we do is we follow the system, follow the leader, run the numbers, and just, you know, duplicate what others are doing, right? I mean, it's not that deep. So thanks for being our first Agent Spotlight video. Appreciate you. And we look forward to hosting you guys some more. Let's go out there and crush you guys. Talk to you later.